so to your point, this wealth transfer, yes, it's going to be able to help us chip away at the affordable housing crisis, right? But it's also that bigger picture of really setting families up for generations to be able to preserve that legacy.
You know, and I think this is so key for a lot of my clients that I work with. They want to know, hey, who do you want to invest with and why? Like why DLP Capital? And I think the key is the impact. In fact, if you're listening to this and you're curious, you know, not only 3 million units short with the housing. It's the housing crisis is one of the biggest in the country, along with the debt crisis and other things that are going on. But what we're finding here is the fact that a lot of capital needs to be unlocked in order to invest into these communities. Yeah. And so there's things like the opportunity zones that were introduced, right? There's things like the 1031 exchanges, right, that have been around for a while. But what we also found, there's other assets that are not eligible for 1031 exchanges and or necessarily in an opportunity zone. Yeah. And so with the deferred sales trust, what we love about the ability is to unlock the capital, but to go straight into places like the DLP Buildings Communities Fund, right, which is projected to build about 5,000 units in the next 3 years, which is phenomenal. You know, given where a lot of challenging to build communities in different places, you guys may be able to do it in a way that's making sense financially, and it's making a real dent, because without new housing, we're not going to move the needle very often. We need more housing, and that's so key. And give you another stat too. There's an estimated $84 trillion that's set to pass from the baby boomers to the millennials in the next 20 years. And this is known as the largest wealth transfer in the history of the planet. Yeah. So we believe at Capital Gains Tax Solutions that 84 trillion is going to can fund and will be the solution for building the housing if we can unlock the capital. Yes. If we can unlock the capital in a tax efficient way that benefits the community, we have plenty of money to build. So it's not a money problem. It's the movement and the placement, and they entrust it with a group who's going to do right and do well and still make a profit. That's right. So do you want to just touch on anything about that?
Yeah, and I mean, you touched on one of the crises that we're also trying to solve for, which is the wealth and legacy crisis. So there's this shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves story out there where upwards of 80% of all of the families out there lose their generational wealth by generation 3. So generation 1 makes all the money and creates that legacy, and then typically the vast majority of all families lose it and have to start from scratch by generation 3. So in terms of talking about legacy with our investors, and it's so crazy sometimes, Brett, that you sit down with a family and they're, by all accounts, sophisticated investors. They are really, really good at whatever it is they've done to amass that wealth. They've never had a conversation about what they do or what they think about or how they're thinking about legacy with their own kids. And so what happens is you end up having these conversations with these folks, and this is what we do at our events, and this is what we do one-on-one every day, is, again, taking away those boundaries to say, guys, you need to talk about this stuff, because otherwise you're going to have to be reactive once that generation 1 passes away. Generation 2 has absolutely no idea what's going on, makes bad decisions, not because they're bad people or because they're not smart or whatever. It's just they haven't built the framework to be able to do it. So what we're trying to do is, and our funds are the conduit to this, because you need to have that capital to be able to do it, to your point. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to, again, define that legacy, understand what it is they're trying to do with this, the impact they're trying to make, what that means for their family. If they don't have kids, what are the philanthropic goals they have? Those are the things that we're talking about. And we talk about, success to significance and more than money. Like, this is what we're doing it for. And so to your point, this wealth transfer, yes, it's going to be able to help us chip away at the affordable housing crisis, right? But it's also that bigger picture of really setting families up for generations to be able to preserve that legacy and then keep it going for generations to come.